like it.
File the paperwork. I'm a W-9.
All right. So, there we go. That's even better. So, if I'm a single, straight woman who has her own money, doesn't want children, but wants male companionship, why do men always fuck that up? That is the question. I've already gotten over the fact that most men don't read as much as I do or juggle as many interesting activities, but ever since I started dating when I was a teenager, most guys have either bored me after a date or two or tried to turn me into their house nigger. You know, that woman who you cajole into doing all the drudgery you don't want to do despite the fact that you're a grown-ass man and capable of doing it yourself? Yeah. And no, I'm not angry. I'm just realistic. If I minimize the amount of time that I do that shit for myself, I sure the hell don't want to waste time doing it for another person. Honestly, I don't need a man's money, not even on a date. Then what reasonable expectation does he have that I'll take care of all the menial tasks in his life? None as far as I'm concerned. Tina Turner had it right. What's love got to do with it? Honestly, I've never once thought, oh my God, I'm spending so much time reading. I wish I had more housework and errands to do. Here's another thing. I firmly believe in not commingling funds. If it's my birthday, then you can buy me dinner or a drink, but even then it's not an obligation because I don't go out unless I have the money to do so. I also expect the same in a guy, along with him taking care of all of his other basic responsibilities of being an adult. In addition, I'm not into commingling body fluids, with the notable exception of saliva, okay? Human saliva. Remember that piece I wrote 2 years ago? Oh yeah, okay. So if you're that guy who lets your pets lick all over your face, forget it. Forget it. Every woman has her standards. That's one of mine. Okay. Since I've never wanted children, why should seminal fluid or sperm ever enter my body? It just becomes another thing to clean up, and we women already do enough cleaning up. So don't be that guy who goes on a date or comes over to hang out without condoms. You are already not spending money on me because I don't need it. Don't be that fucking cheap. And if you are that fucking cheap, you're too cheap to fuck. You're welcome, all other things right now. All right, great. You know, actually, it's just less mess and hassle to just self-pleasure. And thanks to Meetup, I don't even have to look for interesting male companionship anymore. I just join the groups that do interesting things. That's half the battle. I mean, human beings are sociable animals. I can socialize with other people who we have, you know, common interests. Yet I still wanted to discover why men fuck up companionship with a woman who doesn't want his money, his baby, or his wedding ring. I mean, I know any combination of those three things can be wonderful for some, but to my thinking, it's just three traditional ways to control a woman. Okay, so I invited some friends to a bar where we discussed these issues with 3 bartenders. Yes, I focus group this one. Now, before bringing the bartenders into the conversation, we first discussed what we wanted out of men since we were all independent women. And not surprising, at the top of the list, none of us wanted the possessive guy. After all, what part of independent woman would actually appeal to a possessive guy? We wanted a man to be a part of our life, but not assert himself as if he was our entire life. It's a difference between being needed and being wanted. A needed man is part of a woman's survival strategy. A wanted man shares in her happiness. So, if she's already surviving pretty well before she meets you, then she wants you as a companion, not some knight in shining armor or meal ticket or sugar daddy. Since companionship can take a lot of forms, the next important thing is for a guy to be upfront about his needs. Even the bartenders confirmed this much. Now, both the guys were Virgos, which is my sign, so every time it's like, oh, another Virgo. All right. One was this dreamy-eyed, romantic, monogamous. The other was polyamorous, and that they still both said clear communication is important. The third bartender, a woman who was also the only single parent among them, considered communication and a non-possessive man to be at the top of her list because it's just exhausting otherwise. We women think seriously about having both the time and energy for a boyfriend. And wouldn't it be wonderful if sex was never a chore? Which is why I strongly advocate for separate residences. I often said I'd get married today if we didn't have to live together as man and wife. All right, I know. Every married person has said, what's the point of getting married? Exactly. So, when we plan to spend time together, I've scheduled the time and the energy and the naps to do so. And then afterwards, he leaves. And that is just the proper punctuation to a well-written sentence. Yes, we can spend quality time together and quality time apart. Wow, have you ever heard of people who don't live together complaining about, I just don't have enough of my own space? No, never once. Okay. And this should go without saying, but with the rise of digital and surgical enhancements, I'll just say it anyway. To love me, to love my body exactly the way it is, okay? I don't care what else other women are doing that you're looking at on the computer. They're not real, okay? They are not real, and they're probably getting paid, and I'm not, and I won't, so there. Okay. So, and I expect the same. I mean, I have guy friends who are really great, but I don't find them physically attractive, so I don't go into that zone. If you got this checklist of major edits you have to do to somebody else's body, just forget it. Over 7 billion people in this world. Try not to torture them to death. Alrighty. Now, we also agreed that we wanted a man who was spiritually and emotionally balanced. As one friend said, I don't want him to be totally immoral, but I don't want him to be so uptight he can't get drunk with me. So I thought that was a good standard. Now, he also has to have goals in life, but not so much as fanatical that he zaps all the joy out of living, and emotional vampires need not apply. Now, I realize that some of you are thinking that I'm too picky or unrealistic or stubborn, but you know what I am? Patient. Because I believe one day in the not so distant future, Mr. Perfect will stroll into my life because he will be a made-to-order boyfriend cyborg. And Jeff Bezos is going to make that happen. All